Hi everyone, welcome back. This week we're going to keep going on the transmission and trying to get this thing as close to drivable as possible. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who's come along with me on this ride. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so because it helps me a ton with the algorithm and with ad revenue and all the other stuff that goes along with the channel. Trust me, it really does. So if you haven't, please try it out. If you'd like to help the channel out even more, you can go over to GleasonBrosRacing.com. We have merch, we have novelty shirts, we have race team shirts, we have hats, we have koozies, we have tumblers, we have polo shirts, you name it, stickers. All available now, and they're very affordable. Go check it out, and that goes directly to me as well. It helps a lot, trust me, because I take every cent that I get from this channel, whether that be from ad revenue or sales of merch, and it goes right back into projects like this or the race car. So it's not going in my pocket. It'll go in there for a second and then go right back out again. Anyway, today we are getting back to work in the truck, and I have heat again, so that's pretty great. I went and got all the propane tanks filled, and I bought a diesel heater, see if that works. I don't know. We're going to try it anyway. It's not here yet. But I'm going to get back into the inside of the truck because I think we've got a few things that need to be done in here before the truck can be even roadworthy. All right, first things first. Now, I bought this. I don't know if I got the packaging for it or not. I might have thrown it away. Nope, here it is. This is just something you can buy at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or whatever. People consider this to be a cheaper brand, right? So this is what I got. And if you're a keen-eyed observer, you'll notice I already have one. Now this is a throttle cable bracket and a kickdown bracket and all that stuff. Now I have one right here. That was from a name brand. I think this is a Mr. Gasket one, which is a Holly brand. So it's name brand, right? However, the kickdown cable bracket that's on it does not fit mine, which is down here. You can't see it at all. It's kind of down here, right? Does not fit it. But I'm walking through O'Reilly's and I see this thing, and it's kind of the cheaper brand, like I said, but it looks like kind of a knockoff. It looks exactly the same. It's just not put together. And I noticed this, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Because I'm looking for a throttle return spring bracket, which I could literally make one. It's not a huge deal. But it has one. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's bigger. And I put it over it, and it actually fits. So I'm like, the cheap brand actually has the bracket that fits. Go figure. So I'm going to have to put that down because we need the kickdown cable in order to have the transmission to work properly. I also have the bracket and lever kit that needs to go onto the transmission so that we can use the shift cable and shifter that I have for the truck. And if you remember the last episode, I'd said that we have to build at least a platform to bring the shifter up so that we can use it a little bit better. Because it being on the floor, it's really not accessible. So I want to bring it up so that it's actually a little bit more reachable, and the fact that if I bring it right here, it will be away from everything when I try to use it. So for accessibility and use, I think putting it on a little stand will really help a lot. I also want to put some seat belts in the truck because the only reason I put a bench seat in this truck, I had individual seats. Like my dad wanted to put like Mustang seats in the truck, which I gave him some after I parted out a Mustang for racing. And they were still around, but I wanted a bench seat because, well, I got my kid and my wife, and if I want to bring both of them, say go to get ice cream one nice summer night, and have a little car show at the local ice cream stand, I can bring them all. So I have a box full of seat belts, and I know how I want to mount them. It's just a matter of mounting them at this point. So the seats are not technically bolted in all the way because I, number one, have to get the seat belts in, but number two, I also want to put sound deadening material underneath so that it ties all the sheet metal in and it won't be a complete rattle trap. It won't be quiet, but it won't be really disturbing, sounding like a dumpster going down the road. So that's kind of the plan. I'm going to see how far we get with that today. Hopefully we can get pretty far with that. Well, I owe Holly and Mr. Gasket an apology, and here it is. I am sorry, because I am a gigantic idiot. I took this bracket off because I saw it up front, and I'm like, well, I could just swap it with this one, right? No problem. And, yeah, what's behind it? A bigger bracket. Which, for whatever reason, I didn't see, and I don't know why. So I guess I didn't need this after all. But since I bought it and opened it already, I'm not going to be that guy and try to return it. I'll just eat that. That is what it is. So I guess I'll just go back to, oh, that bracket's a little bit bent. That's all right. We can straighten that out. I'll go back to just getting back to work. I got to put this through this bracket here and figure out where full throttle would be, and figure out how to essentially install this properly. So I'm going to go look that up real quick. I don't want to mess that up because I'd really like to have a working kickdown. By the way, I've noticed that this carburetor's leaking, which when I had this carburetor body on my race car, it leaked. So I knew it was probably going to. However, I have the fix for it coming, and yes, I was never going to keep a 2-barrel on a race motor in a hot rod truck. Trust me, that was not going to stay. I have a solution coming. It's not here yet. I think you're going to like it, but we got to wait for that for a little bit. Maybe next episode, I'm not too sure, but I'm going to get to figuring that out. Once that's on, that'll be a load off my mind. All right, I think I finally got it. I had to flip the bracket around because the first time I did it, it was too far forward and it wouldn't work. Now, if I hit the throttle, which I think there's absolutely no pump shot left in this thing because I've been doing that, doesn't matter. But I got it so that it actually slides a little bit, as you can probably tell. Let me get you a little closer. There you go. It slides a little, but then I get to right about there, and there's a hard spot, and then I can get full throttle, and there's... Yeah, I think that's the hard spot would be it pulling that last little bit for the kickdown. So I think we finally got that figured out. I'm going to just tighten up a couple other little things, and that should be good to go. By the way, keen-eyed observers will notice the two little spot welds on the cable bracket here, or the cable end here. Well, that's because that end was bent, and I took 2 pliers, and I just kind of gently started to move them, and they immediately snapped right off. And for me to replace that cable, I'd have to pull the pan off of the transmission and feed a new cable in there. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to weld that back together and hope for the best, because I'm not doing that right now. And like I said, it seems to be working, because right there, man, usually with a Holley carb, it'll just go wha-bam and you got full throttle. But with this, I got a hard spot, and then there you go. So hopefully that kickdown is actually working. It's not an electric kickdown, by the way. It's not like a 700R4 or something like that. That's a manual kickdown. This is a cable. The cable goes down into the transmission, and it moves levers and stuff like that, and whatever else it does. But that is a manual kickdown. Now on to the shifter, which I've got a cable here, nice B&M cable to go with my nice B&M shifter that my uncle gave me, and I knew I could use it for some purpose, and this is perfect. So I'm going to take my tape measure here, just kind of measure that, hold this up about where I want it. Yeah, you know what? Let's say 10 inches. If we build a little flat plate here on the ground and then put a little stand up and then another flat plate, I think that would probably do, because the bottom looks like, ooh, I should clean that thing up. The bottom looks like this. We can put like 4 bolts in it. That should hold her up. I should get inside here and grease the poor thing too, clean her up. It's not too bad. It does function, but a good grease would definitely help. Finally got the shifter in, I got the cable in, and I got it hooked up to the transmission. Now, would you like a fun story? First fun story was actually good. This stand here that I built, which you probably can't see, but here, now you can. You see how it's a flat plate, a piece of roll bar tubing, and another flat plate? Well, I measured it to 10 inches, right? And I went to my scrap metal bin, and I found this piece of old roll bar tubing, and I measured it. It is exactly 10 inches, like it was meant to be. So I'm like, okay, I guess I don't have to cut one for that. So I cut these 2 flat plates. I put 4 bolts in the bottom one, and I welded the bolts in so that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't need 2 people to bolt it in. The top one, the plate is so thick that I just tapped the plate and just bolted the shifter to the plate. No need for nuts. But I got the shifter cable in. I put a piece of hose over the cable, and check it out. I got it hooked up to the transmission. She's in park. She ain't going nowhere. That's pretty good. Pull her up. You got reverse. There's neutral. You got drive. Then you got 2 and, well, I think it'll go into drive, but if you pull it all the way down into this, you can go and get 2 and 1 and then back up into drive. Neutral, reverse, park. That's cool, right? So you can go like this, pull it all the way back, bam, bam, drive. That's going to come in real handy when I want to do burnouts and get some wheel speed. Wow. Seems to be adjusted really well. I'd love to fire the truck up and just put her in some kind of gear, but I'd really like to get the brakes bled first so that the wheel spin doesn't jam it if I go to put it into park. That way it's not park Paulin, and I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually, but for now, check it out. We got, well, let's see how the brakes work. Straight to the floor. Straight to the floor. Straight to the floor. Straight to the floor. Oh, nope, and straight to the floor. To the floor. Let's pump it up a whole lot. And straight to the floor. Cool. So we're doing really well on brakes. Even though it's a brand new master cylinder, brand new lines, brand new calipers, brand new wheel cylinders. Could use a nice shift knob for this. What I was going to do with the shift knob was I was going to put a beer tap on it, but now Probably going to hit the dashboard, so I'm going to keep fiddling with stuff. That's so cool. I'm sorry, I like toys. You know what, I think I'm just going to wait until tomorrow, because we got a lot done today. We not only fabricated a stand for the shifter, but we also got the cable attached, we got that adjusted. Oh, remind me I got to tighten that down. I'll write that on the board when I walk out. And we got the kickdown set up, even after we broke it. So hopefully that hangs in there for a little while. I hope the repair is stronger than what it was. Either way, I think we're going to check it out tomorrow. My plan for tomorrow is to do a final check, probably add 2 or 3 more quarts of ATF just in case. And try firing it up. Maybe try bleeding the brakes myself first a little bit more. It never comes out that great when I do it myself, but I mean, it's not like impossible to do. It's just, who knows? So it's definitely not good. It definitely needs a bleeding again. That sucks. I really hate doing that. It's really not good. But anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out again tomorrow. All right, it is the next day, and you can hear all sorts of stuff going on around me. And if you see there's a noticeable haze in the air, well, there's a reason for that. It's 40 degrees out, which is awesome for once, but I had to turn the fan on because of how smoky it is in here. Apparently that's a unfortunate drawback of this heater I bought because I saw it on TikTok. I know, I got camo, but that wasn't on purpose. That was all they had left, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to order one of these just to try it. No free ads to anybody, but I'll tell you what. It does pump out a damn good amount of heat. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I only had half a gallon of diesel, and I wanted one that actually had the battery, like, plug thing. But what they don't tell you is when you first hook it up and you stick the exhaust pipe through the wall, well, the fiberglass that they put around the pipe to try to keep the heat from, I don't know, burning your shop to the ground because you put it on a shelf, apparently it smokes a hell of a lot until it burns in, and then you get where I'm at right now, and I smell horribly. Hopefully that burns off really quickly, and I can get back to actually trying it for the heat that it puts out. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical, but I figured 130 bucks on eBay, because that's all I could find it at. Wasn't a bad thought, but you know what? I figure it's worth a try. I mean, diesel's pretty cheap, and it lasts about, I don't know, I think they said 8 to 10 hours on a gallon of diesel. And I might find uses for it maybe at the racetrack. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but figure it's worth a shot. I did get some parts in. You'll notice I got this sweet new Edelbrock, little tiny, wish it was a little taller, air cleaner. I could probably fix that by getting one of those flexi hoses and just bringing it over here instead of using what I have. I bought it anyway. I figured whatever. It's small, that it'll fit. Also, I have a replacement for that coming, so stay tuned. But what I really needed was, that I remembered last night, I needed... Why is there a plug in that? Whatever. I needed vacuum hose because I forgot that I need to put a vacuum line down to the modulator valve on the transmission. Totally biffed on that. So this little elbow here that I put on, right here, and here, which I can't take off by hand, that elbow goes on the modulator valve because I borrowed it from there because I forgot I needed it. And I bought a whole bunch of vacuum and a little extension so that someday we can use the vacuum wipers, but since we're not using that right now, and my new carburetor has as many ports at the bottom as this one, it's got 2 here, 1 in the back, we'll eventually be able to hook those up once I get under the dash and fix it. So for now, looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit in here. My lens is a little foggy, but that's okay. So I'm going to get to work on getting the modulator valve all set up. Once we get the modulator valve set up, then we're going to get to, I'm not going to fire it up yet. I'm not going to put it through its paces. I'm not going to try to get that done. We're going to go eventually bleed the brakes, but our focus is in here. And what I want to do is, since these are not bolted in, I'm going to pull them out or at least move them, and try to get the seat belts put in. This is about as safety conscious as I could be. And I bought these off Amazon. They're labeled as golf cart seat belts. They have literally a steel mechanism in them. So they're basically like regular seat belts. I don't even know if they're DOT rated, but this really fills me with all sorts of hope. It says made in China on them. That's okay. They're really long. They will work. And they came with what appears to be 8.8 hardware. It's probably all metric. Don't care. If I use it on here, it'll never come off again. So there's 4 of them. So I wanted 3, but they only came in packs of 2 or 4. And I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. Just give me 4 of them. So here's my plan. This is going to be much easier on the driver's side because it has its own individual stands like over here. See? Now the way I set this up was I was going to drill through the stand right here because this metal is actually pretty beefy. It's probably 1/8 inch. Drill through that, put a big washer on both sides, or whatever they have, and just run the seatbelt up, and there you go. Now for the middle, not quite sure what to do there yet, because there's no real big stand here. But what I was thinking about doing was taking a huge washer and just bolting it to the floor, which is what they do in normal vehicles. So we'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it, but I don't want to have a hot rod without seat belts. God forbid something happens. At least it'll keep us in the truck so that it's easier to find our bodies when something happens. That's dark. So again, if you hear this ticking sound in the background of all my videos, that's kind of what that's doing. But yeah, even from this far away, I feel warm air. So, hey, you know what? If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, it works a little bit, so it's worth something. All right. Speaking of working, I think we should get back to work. So as I'm working on the belts, and by the way, I got the race on, I can't find the remote, so if you hear any noise in the background, I apologize, but hey, it's World Series time at New Smyrna, so I gotta watch it. I put the seat belts in. And this isn't really the best place to put this one, but it was better because I had to go all the way to the floor here, so I needed the longer one here. Maybe that's not the right bet because it is a little bit tight. Maybe this would have been better on the floor and just poking through. I don't really know, but it's taken me all night to get here. And you'll notice there's this weird blue hue around me. Well, that's because I came through and I put sound deadening all over the bottom of underneath the seats. And I got to put that seat back in. This bolt in the middle needs to be tightened. I put it in, but it's got to be tightened, and I don't have 2 people to do that. And I also have to put the seats back in, and that needs, well, at least 1 person to do it, so it's not too bad. So I put the buckle on the driver's side on the left-hand side of the seat. I don't know why I did that, because I think the longer side probably would have been better. And, I don't know. Guess I wasn't thinking. It's going to work the same on either side for the left side, but I don't know, whatever. Sue me. So I got the long side over here, but I also put the buckle for the middle on this side as well. And I got it over here because I figured it would be a lot easier for the buckle side over here because of the thing on the floor, like I mentioned before. So I put the 2 longer things from the floor up, etc., etc. You know how I did this. All right, so hopefully this won't be too big a deal to get in now that I've got the sound deadening material on the floor. And I'll tell you what, it might be cheap sound deadening material, as you can tell by my hands, because they are just blown up. I don't have one of them heavy-duty roller things. So I'm just kind of laying it in here. I'll probably put it in the back of the cab as well, at least one. And then I'm going to do the whole footwell here, because I got like 35 of them, and I probably only used like 10. So, I mean, I probably got enough to do the cab of the truck. So it's not going to be too bad in here. But I really just want to keep moving forward at this point. Except right now, I probably done until I can get help for the night. And I kind of need help with bleeding brakes, even if I just put somebody in the seat and make them the dummy. And they just, well, I mean that in the most loving terms, obviously. You know, they do the easy job, so you're doing the dummy role. But don't mind me. Anyway, if I could just get somebody here to do that, and then have somebody here to hold a wrench so that I could tighten down the bolt that's underneath the seat for the seat belts, that would really help. Maybe I'll con my wife. Maybe I'll call my brother. Somebody will help. But otherwise, I think we're pretty done for now. And I also can't put the seat back in because I need to be able to reach under it to hit the bolt. It's probably easier without the seat in it. Plus, it goes right back in since there's studs. But never mind that. This heater. All right, what's the verdict on this heater? Well, to be honest with you, it's still hot. We've used about a quarter tank of fuel so far. We're not quite at a quarter tank. But it's kept the shop, I wouldn't say warm. It's definitely not warm, but it is a comfortable temperature. That's about 46 degrees, if that thermometer works. And for me, it being, 15 degrees for the last month and a half, 46 is actually kind of nice. Now, it's really not a big heater. It does put out heat, but it doesn't heat a lot, right? So what I would do is I would actually use this heater as a supplemental heat. Like, if I get the big burner going, like the propane big, like, salamander furnace going first, and heat the shop up that way, and then once the shop is hot, then fire up that heater to maintain it, probably work fine. Because it's been, I don't know, it was like 40-something out today, but the dehumidifier drops the temperature because it's dry, and I got concrete floors, so it really kind of radiates cold up. So it's actually picked up a few degrees, even though the sun's been down for like 2 hours. So was that a decent purchase? Seems to be pretty good, especially if it's like a chilly night and you don't feel like turning the big burners on, you can run it. So decent purchase. If you got a smaller shop than mine, I would recommend it because it'll definitely heat it up, especially if you turn the thing on high. But for now, I think I'm going to bail out. I'm going to go watch some New Smyrna. I'm going to go text a few people, see if they want to help. Tomorrow might be bad because I don't think my brother could help me. I'll have the wife help. It'll be all right. Or I'll call the kid out here. He probably won't come, but at least I tried. But I'm going to hit the off button here, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, it's actually a couple days later. I didn't work at all yesterday because, I don't know, I got sick. Full disclosure, if you're somebody who has acid reflux and you end up waking up in the middle of the night choking on it, and you feel like a train hit you the next day because you didn't sleep and you aspirated a bunch of it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, sorry to overshare on that one, but I have very little time today to get to work on this thing because it's my wife's birthday and I need to take her out somewhere. So, as my heater starts up in the background, I don't even know if you can hear that, I have to get back in the inside of this truck and finish it up. And we need to get as close to being mobile as possible. I want the seats bolted in. I want the seat belts finished off because I need to tighten one bolt. And that's kind of impossible to do by myself, but I'm going to have to find a way to do it. And if we can get the brakes bled a little bit more, that would be tremendous. That way, tomorrow, if I come out here, I will be able to do something. I just want the truck to be able to, okay, I hooked the battery up. I can turn the key and pump the gas a few times to get it to fire up. After that, if we can get it to move and stop, even if it isn't perfect, that is kind of key because I wanted this truck to be done by now. However, as I just told you, delays happen. And I'm leaving the entire month of March for the race car. Because I know we don't go racing until the end of April, but I still got to get the race car in here and get that work done as well. So we're going to hustle in the next few weeks to get this thing as done as humanly possible. And I'm looking at stuff like, why is there no gas in my fuel filter? Now, I haven't tried to start the thing in over a week, and there was more in there than there was, well, 2 days ago, I guess now, so whatever. I think I'm going to need another fuel pump. That fuel pump is so old, it was around when my dad was still alive, so that'll tell you something. I know I haven't also run this since, I don't know, over a week ago when we actually got the thing to fire up. This carburetor, before I forget, is not going to hang around because you can see it's leaking. I've showed you that it's leaking. There's a reason why I took that out of my race car. But I have another carb coming, and this should clue you in on it. Yeah. Just waiting for that to get here now. So let's just get back to work. We got to get the seats put back in, tightened down, everything put into place so that we can actually make this thing hopefully mobile very, very soon, because it needs to be. Well, the pedal still feels like junk. I don't know why. Maybe the rears aren't adjusted out all the way. That could be it, because I keep looking around and looking for leaks and stuff, and I got nothing. So, the pedal feels funny, you know? Like, one time you push it down and it'll be hard, and then the next time you push it down it'll go down further, but then the next time you hit it it'll be hard again, and then you push it down again, and it's further down again. It's like every other pump, it's like, okay, far, okay, far. I don't get it. I'm trying to describe it the best I can, but I can't find a single leak. And every time I open up the bleeders, air comes out. So I'm like, okay. So I cycled it at least twice, pumped it like 5-6 times each corner. So I was like 12 pumps each corner. And I really don't like doing it that way, but it's the only way I can do it right now. So the next thing I should do, I don't know, man. I probably got to get it fired up and look for leaks again. And even see if the thing goes into gear, moves, and doesn't piss out of that cover. So I think that's next on the old agenda. Yeah, it definitely needs to get cleaned out in here. I can't even put my feet in here. This place is disgusting. But seats and seat belts are in, shifters in, and hooked up. Everything's hooked up, you know, except for the battery terminal. But I could literally hook the battery terminal up, and if everything worked, it would run and drive at this point. However, I'm still skeptical on how well everything will work. I just really need to get to cleaning this damn place out. Let's do a really quick tool cleanup. Maybe I'll open the door and we'll try firing it up while it's on jack stands. Try driving her into gear and see what happens, and then I'll hit the pedal and see what happens. Just gonna take a minute to warm up though. Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I'm looking, I don't see any leaks. I put more fluid in the transmission. What do you guys think about seeing if it moves? I don't think the brakes are gonna be very good, but we're gonna see if we can put it in gear and get this thing to even turn. Alright, let's see, 180 is the thermostat. She seems to be 180, but there's no fan, so we got to do this kind of quick. Oh, it went into gear, guys. Do we have reverse? Yes, we have reverse. Do we have brakes? Hang on, I'm gonna try to do some gymnastics here. We have brakes. They suck, but they work. That should be some kind of drive, I think, maybe. It's moving! Sorry about my finger, but it's moving. Now I gotta hit the brakes to stop it. I don't want it to overheat because alright, we're at 190 and I don't have a fan. So let's let her kind of circulate. Oh, that's really funny. That's really, really funny. I gotta get out of here, but you hear this alarm? That's the CO alarm. It shut my heater off. Okay, so that means it's dangerous, so I need to leave. Whew. Boy, it stinks in there. Can't breathe, and being sick yesterday really doesn't help. My lungs are killing me. But you know what? I gotta get that fan installed. And burp the coolant. Hopefully that was hot enough to turn the thermostat on. And I really wish I had some kind of a fan so that I could tell that the temperature would go down. But we also need to pull the cap off and see if it flowed. But the problem with that is now it's hot and now there's probably pressure in it. So I'm not doing that now. Maybe later we'll pull the cap off and bring it up to temperature again and try filling it up with fluid after that. But I'm going to let this air out. But that is a number of successes that I'm very pleased with. And my CO alarm on the heater is still beeping. So it's too bad that my fan is trapped under 2 feet of snow. I could really use that thing right now. But I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty awesome. Like, ridiculously awesome. I think a lot of the pedal travel is going to have to do with the rear brake adjustment. I don't think that they're even close to adjusted properly. I will definitely tighten something down on them and put the thing in neutral at some point and just spin it and see if I hear any drag at all. But I guarantee you I won't, considering how loose they feel. That'll probably sure a lot of the pedal feel up, but I think we still have to bleed a lot more. I'd really like to get somebody over here to at least help me bleed. Even if I have to throw the kid in the seat and say, here, leg this thing for me. And just have me do that. You know, it's not going to be a huge deal, but I really like doing a 2-person bleed. I got to get the fan in, and I actually got to find the instructions for how to put the fan kit in, because I've got a electric fan, like an automatic relay system for it. She's in here somewhere. Let's see. I think this is part of it. I wish I'd held on to it. I don't know. I think this is a lot of it. Here's some of it. Yep. All right, so this is a lot of the kit. It's got the relay. I don't know why I didn't keep the instructions on this. Maybe I can just Google some or whatever, but maybe there's some down here. I don't really know, but whatever. But I can hook this up because I have the temperature sensor. And I already put it in. It's already right here. And if I wire it up to that and I put it to constant power, or at least switched power, I don't know. I might run a switched power wire from the key switch out to here and put it to that. That way it won't constantly run if it's hot and kill the battery while I'm sitting still and the truck is off or something like that. But I was thinking about just having it on a key. That way if it's on, it'll kick on. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if it works or not. I think I had it on my race car at one point, and I'm pretty sure it worked. It's just that if you have a race car and it kicks on at like 190, maybe that's kind of defeating the purpose, you know. If you had it on before then, it wouldn't have hit that so quickly, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't really like it. I liked having it on manual control. That way I could turn it on or off, you know. I hate to think that I'm behind on this project, because I don't know if I am or not. It really would depress me if I was, but I mean, if you looked outside and you saw how much snow is still out there, I can't move anything. Like, I can't move my truck. It's piled up with snow. I would be out there for days digging it out by hand and moving all of this crap out of here. I would have to completely take everything down to the bare ground and then make a place to park this thing So I would have to essentially go and move all of the snow out of my yard by hand. And that trailer is not mine. This one here. So that would have to go back to my brother, but I don't have a four-wheel drive truck to bring it down back where his stuff is held. So I can't bring it to his house either. So it's like the snow came at a very inopportune time, and it completely screwed me for a lot of stuff. But it's only February. We still have, even after this month, we still have 2 months to get a race car ready that is essentially done. All I really want to do to that car is just kind of adjust the setup, put water in it, and charge the battery, and put a new body on it. I can, 2 or 3 days, I can have a new body on that car, no problem. So it's, oh, and I got to change the seat belts, but that's a maintenance item. So anyway, I'm going to go inside, clean myself up, and take all the stink out of me from being in this garage with the exhaust running constantly. And I'm going to take my wife out to dinner for her birthday. And I will probably see you guys tomorrow, since tomorrow I won't have any plans because I'll have done them all tonight. Well, guys, I'm just going to have to end the video off here. It is the next day, but earlier in the video, I mentioned how I was sick for a day and I missed a day, and then I missed another day, really, because of other obligations. But today was going to be the last day I could work on it, but my fever has seemed to have returned, and I should really just kind of take a day and take care of myself. But what I want to do is, I would really like to show you a preview of next week's episode, because I got some parts in that are kind of cool. You saw this already, which was a pretty large hint. I think I bought this on Temu for like 12 bucks. But here's my other purchase from Temu. Here's they give you a rubber glove. Not gloves, glove. Some padding. A length of hose, which, let's be honest, do I trust this as far as I can throw it? Absolutely not. Let's see. Oh, another glove. Cool. I already opened this, so that's why I'm trying to find everything. But here it is. Yep. I know. That's cool. Look at that. It's got a brush set that you can clean out, like, all sorts of whatever. Oh, and studs to put it on the intake. And a fuel filter that I'm not going to use unless it's an emergency. That's kind of neat. All right. But this, oh, they give you this too. Like, hang on. Now I'm trying to think, because they give you the length of hose, and they give you these that go up into the bowls. But how do you split them? They don't give you the way to split them. That's why I bought this. I'm like, I'm not trusting anything. This right here is stuck in the whatever. Oh, they give you a gasket too. Oh, and different, like, bleeds. Air bleeds. What numbers? 30, 33, 69, 73. So you can adjust the air bleeds in it, and they give you a whole book, as if I'm going to read that. But check it out. This is a Chinese knockoff. And yes, you can see right here, it says 650. Why did I only go to 650 on this? Because, well, engines are air pumps, and at 355 cubic inches, with a dual plane intake manifold and stock flowing heads, that's probably all it's going to take. Now, this thing is obvious, very, very obviously, a ripoff of a Holley carburetor. There's all sorts of ports and stuff in here. I'm going to pull this thing apart at some point and take a look inside and see how close to a Holley carb it actually is. But it's got all the linkages, it's got all the mechanisms, it's got all the different adjusters, it's got glass bowl or sight holes in it. It looks exactly like my HP 650. And it does work really well. It's very clean. These don't move at all, which is very good. I'm just kind of, oh wait, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to epoxy these in, these boosters, because, I mean, you're going to do that on a Holley carb anyway. But it's got all the working mechanisms. See, it's got everything. I just don't know what the squirters are, but it looks exactly like it'll accept Holley stuff. So that's kind of neat. So next episode, I'm going to take this thing, take it apart, look at it, and see how different it is from a Holley. But another reason I bought it was because it has this vacuum port, these vacuum ports, got something on the side up here. I mean, everything that we love is made in China anyway, so why should this be any different? I'll report back to you guys. You want to know how much this was? $200. Why not? That's kind of gross. I already found something in here. That's why I was going to take it apart to begin with. Looks like it had a rubber plug or O-ring in here, and it is destroyed. And that would fill up the bowl real quick. But look at this. Even the accelerator pumps are exactly the same size as a Holley. So I figure it's worth a try. I read all the reviews. By the way, look at the floats are brass, which that's kind of cool, huh? And I know I'm going to get a bunch of people saying, oh, you're going to regret that. Well, I know, but I'm going to go through every single nut and bolt that's involved in this thing, especially the ones on the throttle blades, and I'm going to tighten them with Loctite and make sure nothing can come apart. So that will be next video, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But if there's one thing that I've learned in my, well, let's say, I was going to say old age, but we're middle-aged. So there's one thing I've learned in my middle age, it's that you got to take care of yourself. And that's something that I don't do enough. I work way too hard. I've mentioned it a few times. I work 14-hour days, even more sometimes, between my job and this thing and my race car and everything else around me. And it's time to just kind of relax. I got to just kind of take care of myself. And I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to get back to work. I'm going to have a 3-day weekend this weekend. So I'm going to be working on this truck for a few days straight, which is going to be cool. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I will feel pretty good about it. So in next video, we're just going to put our head down, keep moving. We're going to adjust the rear brakes. We're going to put that carburetor on. And we're just going to keep going forward as far as we humanly can. If we can get the brakes to feel good, then I'm going to put it on the ground and see what we can do to the suspension to get the thing to sit level. We're also going to try to put the fan on because I got to find a wiring diagram for that, and I got to get that fan routed and all the relays and all the wiring, and I got to find a way to attach the fan so that it's not going to hurt the radiator, things of that nature. So we'll be back next week, hopefully feeling better. But thank you guys so much for watching and hanging in there with me. We're really getting close. I mean, really getting close. Racing content will come back very soon, but I figured a long-term project like this that's really, really meaningful should fit the bill pretty well for our channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so because it helps me a ton. And what helps me more than that directly is to get merch from GleasonBrosRacing.com. That helps the race team directly. That is cash in my pocket. That is going right back into the channel. I don't use it for anything else. I don't use any of the money that I get for ad revenue or that on anything other than this channel. You can rest assured. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody you may think may like this sort of thing and help me out. But for now, I'm going to go help myself out by getting some rest. Thank you guys again for hanging in there with me. We made a lot of big progress, and there's still a lot of big progress to come. So I'll see you next time.